TC Pro Hoops playoffs in full swing. Get some skin in the game with the BetPark Sportsbook app. It's fun. Philly against Boston in the Eastern Conference semifinals starting tonight. Boston's a 10-point home favorite. That sounds like a high margin. I'm going with Philly in that pick, I can tell you, with or without Joel. In the West, Denver is a 4.5-point favorite hosting Phoenix. Great time of year for sports with the BetPark Sportsbook app. Join me, download the BetPark Sportsbook app right now, the only sportsbook app that I recommend. Make BetPark's futures bets on Pro Hoops playoffs and who's going to win it all this year. Boston is plus 130. What does that mean? It means a $50 wager pays $65. How about Philadelphia? Is a plus 1,200. A $50 wager pays $600. If they win it all. Love those odds. Live in-game betting, same-game parlays, and more. Bet more than the score. Bet player performance for points and rebounds and assists and hoops. All new users bet $10 and get $125 in sportsbook bonus if your first bet wins. BetParks.com, they've got terms and conditions. New users and winning bets only. Sports bonus bet has to be wagered once. See the website for details. Got to be 21. And in PA, NJ, or Ohio, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Time now for headlines from Smerconish.com, the Monday edition of the newsletter. What did you think of the White House Correspondent Association dinner? I know that you watched.
I liked it. I thought...
Did you?
Yeah, I like Roy Wood. I think he's funny. I thought it was... What did I think? I thought it was a little uncomfortable, like a little staid at parts, S-T-A-I-D, like a little, okay, the president doesn't have Biden's time. I mean, doesn't have Obama's timing, but I like Roy Wood. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You didn't like it at all, huh?
Nah.
You don't like Roy Wood?
I like Roy Wood.
Well, what is it then?
I'm not gonna
yourself.
Lie and say I thought he was great because I didn't think he was great.
Okay.
I didn't think Biden was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I held my breath.
So did I.
Yeah. Okay. Let's be honest.
I think he did okay.
He did all right. Here's what I think. Having been to a couple of these, it's a very tough drill for a president because it's like a 2.5 hour long evening,
right.
Maybe 3. And I think I said this last week, or maybe I said it to you privately. I would have said, if I were the White House, I would have said the president is coming. He's not going to sit there all night.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? They could not have done that. What are you...
TC, I know...
Michael.
TC, I know what it's like.
Fox News would have gone berserkers.
So what? They're going berserkers anyway.
Oh, my God.
TC.
No.
TC, I know what this is like. As you're aware, I do a lot of public speaking.
Yes.
Okay? Beyond this microphone. And for me, the most difficult gigs are the ones where I have to sit through the dinner, including at a head table.
Right.
Okay? And then speak.
Right.
And to sit there and to go through. And I'm just talking about like a rubber chicken dinner speaking to pharmacists.
Right.
Somewhere USA.
Right.
Love pharmacists. Exceeded only by dermatologists.
Right. And farmers.
Both of whom I've spoken to. And farmers. But what I'm trying to say is I love all those speaking engagements. Please don't misunderstand me. But it's fatiguing to sit at the table and make small talk knowing you have to speak, then watch others speak, and then finally, it's just draining.
Would it be better?
It's draining and it's nerve-wracking.
Would it be better if you were in a green room and then just walked out and spoke and left?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. You've been with me in those instances.
Okay, if that was the way it was set up, but there's no possible way Biden could have stayed for dinner and then done it, and then as soon as his speech was over, left. You can't do that.
That's what makes it an even longer night because then you have to sit there and be roasted. And I understand that you need to sit there and be roasted.
Right. No,
it's a long night for an individual of any age.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And when he finally got up, it was. How about this? It was fine.
Oh boy,
it was fine.
Do you want to hear any of the audio?
I don't know. Play one.
Okay, Biden made fun of his own age. How's that? Let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay. I love this part.
You might think I don't like Rupert Murdoch. That's simply not true. How could I dislike a guy who makes me look like Harry Styles?
That's funny. That was funny.
You call me old. I call it being seasoned. You say I'm ancient. I say I'm wise. You say I'm over the hill. Don Lemon would say that's a man in his prime.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So
Fine.
making fun of himself, making fun of
Fine.
the media. Yeah.
I thought that the best line from Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah.
was the line. Let me just see if I have it in front of me. It was I'd like to stop right now and congratulate tonight's top scholarship recipient, Arizona State senior George Santos.
Honestly, for a second when he said that, the beginning of it, I thought we really were going to, I thought it was some journalistic thing and
Right.
we really were going to thank someone.
Right.
And then I died laughing.
Yeah. A lot of humor about Fox, but President got a little hot talking about Fox.
Yeah, he did.
And talking about the First Amendment. And
I saw some headline that said he wasn't laughing with you, he was laughing at you. Like he was making, like, hey media,
Right.
he was in your face.
Right. Tucker Carlson is out of a job. Some people celebrating, but to Tucker's staff, I want you to know
Here,
that
I have that. Hang on.
Okay.
To Tucker's staff, I want you to know that I know what you're feeling. I work at The Daily Show, so I too have been blindsided by the sudden departure of the host of a fake news program.
Come on.
It's good.
That's funny.
It's good.
Listen
And
to
maybe
him.
it was my mood. It's sounding better.
Oh, good.
It's sounding better as I'm hearing the clips now.
I always think you should watch it in the light of day. That's what I did. So
Oh, you didn't watch it in real
I
time.
watched it in real time.
Yeah.
But I did watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a late night.
Yeah.
It was a late
And
night.
you know
but,
me, I'm not about late nights. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you not catch up on your sleep this weekend? People
I
are
really
asking.
didn't. I really didn't. I had a packed weekend of just like we went to dinner.
Okay.
Just fun stuff, saw my mom, just running errands and doing things that give me pleasure.
Well, you had to.
I just needed to catch up.
I was going to say, and unfortunately, the weather here in Philadelphia was not
TC,
good because I so wanted you to be able to get outside.
TC,
What a wash of a
no.
weekend.
There was. I'm going to tell you two things. One, for those around the country who don't know, we've had nonstop heavy rain
Friday, Saturday,
all
and Sunday.
weekend long.
Truly,
and there was like a break in the action on Saturday, which I used to weed my garden.
well, those weeds must have just pulled out like that.
It was perfect. Yesterday,
like this is you.
and today is perfect weeding time.
Yeah, it's
so
just gorgeous
I shall
today.
be pulling weeds.
Well,
but
wait,
I have to tell you something.
One more question, because people want to know about your garden. Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
Because I want to tell you something else. So with all of this rain, last night there was an enormous crash in the middle of the night. And I
your
thought,
house?
yeah, and I thought there was like a home invasion. Like I gathered my wife and we headed for the panic room, and it turned out to be.
Excuse me, what?
And it turned
Do you have
out to
do you
be.
have a panic room?
And it turned out to be.
Do you have a Michael?
It's like on the secure phone and pulling out firearms, the likes of which Kid Rock has never seen.
Damn. Okay.
It was a tree that hit our house.
that fell on your house.
Yeah.
Did it
Sucked.
Did it break the roof?
I mean, I needed to figure out what is it, and then when I finally figured it out, then I needed to make sure like nothing was leaking. I have to assess it, today. I got to assess it today. I don't know what I have on my hands.
Wait, I mean, did you go into a room and see a branch coming through the roof?
It's very complicated. Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yeah. I got big problems. at home with trees. Yeah.
Holy gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You know what it is? It's the branches were so heavy from absorbing all of that water for so long.
There were flood warnings. There were all
Terrible.
kinds of warnings.
Yeah, really, really terrible.
Wait,
Anyway,
Michael, was it a whole tree like leaning on your house?
No,
or
it was
a
a
branch.
branch. It was a branch that snapped like cleanly.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
whooshed. Yeah. Really, really loud and menacing.
People would like pictures.
No, you'll get some garden pics though.
No, people want pictures of the roof.
Okay, stop already, please. These are,
People are asking.
Friday poll results, 22,215. Do you think Mike Pence took Donald Trump to the woodshed in his grand jury testimony? 55% and
cracks me up every
you
time
love
I
that.
see it.
22,000 and change voted. 55% and change said no. 45%-ish said yes. How about this, TC? Saturday, 46,219 votes cast. Does Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pose a threat to President Biden's reelection? Let's call it 75-25 no. To which I would say, and I've said earlier, hey, that 25% is just 5 points beyond where he's polling now. You could look at that as glass half empty or glass half full from the perspective of the White House. I think Mark Halpern had some really good pieces about RFK Jr. So too did Peggy Noonan. I don't want to be repetitive, but the point is a quarter of those who voted thought he poses a threat. Now, I was very clear. I don't mean like, hey, is he going to overtake Joe Biden? But can he be a big burr in the saddle of the president? I'm in the yes category, having interviewed him on Saturday. If he can maintain his position in the polls, I don't know how in New Hampshire, South Carolina, Iowa, they don't invite both to appear on the debate stage.
So
the White House has no interest. There's no upside from their perspective in giving any platform to RFK or Marianne Williamson. I'm sure if they ever debated RFK Jr., the White House, they would want Marianne Williamson to be there at the same time to try and like, hey, this is kind of a fringy sort of thing.
Hey, the water's warm at this point.
Right. Okay, more timely for today, and thank you for such heavy voting on a Sunday. Would a court victory in the E. Jean Carroll trial, back underway today, have a negative impact on Donald Trump's presidential run? Negative impact, not a good wording on my part. I should have said significant impact. Anyway, it was like a 60-40.
No, I think that
is it going to matter?
Right, but I think negative is a good way to say it, unless you think it might have a positive impact.
Like Alvin Bragg.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that happens. I don't think that happens.
Fascinating.
But might it have an impact? It might. It might. It frankly is dependent upon the news cycle this week because, if it gets lost, I have to tell
Michael,
you.
I went down a rabbit hole because of Roy Wood Jr. I also watched like the Jordan Klepper, like a lot of Daily Show things.
Okay.
His interviews from Trump rallies, there's nothing.
Okay.
They think he's the real president. They think he's in charge of the military. It's bonkers.
Okay, I went down a rabbit hole as well.
Oh.
The rabbit hole that I went down this weekend was on the Jeff Shell case.
Oh, interesting.
There was a story, the head honcho of NBC Universal. Mm-hmm. The piece that I read was a Variety piece. We had posted coverage of the Jeff Shell case last week.
Of course.
But it was only this weekend in catching up with my life that I had the opportunity to read it. And in any other week, if you didn't have Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon both being fired, that Shell story is amazing. I mean, there's a question there as to whether Vladimir Putin got him fired.
Right. I know.
It's amazing because he'd had this relationship with the CNBC reporter for like a decade. There was a trip that he made to Russia where he was detained and where he believes that his phone was wiped. Okay. And that there were incriminating communications on his phone that he'd had with the woman who was stationed in the UAE, I think in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
So the idea was that maybe Putin was the one who dropped the dimes that allowed the paper trail to be in the public domain. There's also a question of whether Anthony Pellicano, if you remember, the sort of famed Hollywood private investigator who had represented someone that Jeff Shell had fired for having an inappropriate relationship, could this have been comeuppance by Pellicano? Like this whole backstory, none of which had entered my radar screen last week because we were so consumed with all the other media news. So when I think of what's about to happen today, tomorrow, Wednesday with Jean Carroll, I don't know. It's dependent upon the news cycle. But see what else is going on.
Let's see what else.
Yeah.
Could be, these things pop and go, but I would be interested in your sort of final take on the Jeff Shell situation.
One more poll, if I might. Today's poll question, we talked about it second hour, should marijuana use be immaterial in security clearance reviews required for federal jobs? Half the public admits to having smoked weed at some point in their lives. You've got 38 states where it's lawful for medicinal purposes, like ours, 22 states where it's legal for recreational purposes. You and I have talked about this before, but I really experienced it last week. The smell of weed in New York City is everywhere.
Is it everywhere? You were in Manhattan.
Everywhere.
So Emma lives in Brooklyn.
Right.
In Brooklyn, it's like
everywhere. And I'm the rare person who likes the smell.
Oh, interesting.
I like the smell.
Yeah.
If Gwyneth Paltrow would make a candle with weed, I'd probably be interested in it.
There, of course, are
I
candles.
mean, she's running out of scents, I imagine.
No,
but
she's not. She's
that would be SCENTS.
I knew what you meant.
So, but
She's certainly not running out of CENTSs.
There is a disconnect between the federal law and what's going on in the states.
I thought your conversation and the ensuing phone calls were so
There's a great piece today at Smerconish.com from the New York Times that lays this all out. Okay, more headlines now from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. Bud Light wanted to market to all. Instead, it's alienating everyone.
I mean, it is... I am now so firmly in the belief of what you said earlier, like the boobies bracelet. Like they just should have said,
ignored it.
Nothing. It is becoming such an issue, and it's not going away. Interestingly, despite everything else in the news, why is this staying so prevalent?
Well, I want you to know that yesterday I turned back a Bud Light. Bud Light was served to me, and I rejected it.
Why? Because you put it on your Instagram and everybody was like, why are you drinking that woke beer? Like, what's going on with you?
No, I intentionally ordered a draft Bud Light yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, just because I'm come on, stop it already.
Right.
Who cares? Stop it. Just
I know.
Stop it.
I know, but no one is stopping it.
But unfortunately, in this case...
Oh, no. Was it
a bad keg? It came to me without a head on it.
Oh, little flat beer.
Head. It wasn't necessarily flat.
Did you try it?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
No, then the place where I was drinking, there's such turnover.
By the way, you know what you do in cases like that? You just drink it super fast.
No, so I sat there and then I just wasn't enjoying it. It was a pint, and I just wasn't enjoying it.
Done.
So when
I kind of want a beer right now.
My server came back to me, I said, "Can I have another beer? I'd like it to be a Stella with a good head on it." Okay. So now, and she was wonderful, and she said, "Yeah, no problem." I didn't ask for a refund or I didn't say take this. I didn't say anything about it.
Right.
I just said, "Can I have another beer? I'll take a Stella with a good head on it." So now the bartender brings it over, and the bartender hands it to me and says to me, "I wanted to hurry up and get it to you before the head on the beer," did she say diminished? Dissipates. I don't know what she said, implying that the reason that the other one was there is I don't buy that at all.
You don't buy that at all?
You don't want too
much, but you don't want too much of a head on it.
But it's not like when you pour. No, I don't. No. But you're a big beer drinker. Don't you need a head of? You got to have some foam on that.
Like a little, but you really don't want a lot.
I should have taken a picture of the beer, the Bud that I rejected.
I want the first and the after.
Okay, I rejected the Bud Light, having nothing to do with Dylan Mulvaney.
Okay, fine.
I just want to make that clear. Don't go editing me out of
good beer.
Don't go editing me out of context.
Okay,
what else do you like in terms of the headlines from Smerconish.com?
Are you kidding
newsletter?
me? The lawn. The lawn stories are so good. Both
circling
of them.
back to these.
Are we going to get back? Are we going to do that? Those are your favorite stories of the week?
People are calling for, today is May 1st. Some people are calling for a mow-free May. A mow-free May to allow insects and bees and nature to take root. My grass...
No mow May.
No mow May.
No mow May.
That's got a ring to it.
It does.
Because my grass is so high now from all the rain.
Oh.
I got to make a decision on no mow May.
Are you going to
No mow May?
No mow May and no shave November? I mean, it's a disaster.
No shave November.
That's a thing. Like guys grow beards.
No, I need fine lines.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could do no shave, but I got to have my lines.
So no mow May? Are you okay?
Are you so no mow
Dry
May.
January?
No mow May is one of them. And then the other move is and you and I are having this conversation where I can hear
it too.
I can hear the blowers.
Because they're insane around here.
Yeah, I can hear the blowers where they're saying, no more gas-fired blowers and weed whackers.
Right.
So,
like battery rechargeable, is that the idea?
Yes. Those are great stories at Smerconish.com, and I promise that we will come back. One more, TC. What do you want?
Well, I mean, I have to, before we go, give a nod to the picture of Tom Cruise giving the thumbs up as he takes his plane for a spin in Naples,
Florida.
Like, what's up with that?
Yeah,
Can you picture where he is?
Yes. It's called Airport Pulling Road. I know it well.
Okay.
I know it well because
wondered.
the airport's on one side of the highway, and on the other side is every car dealer in the world, including the one that I've used many, many times.
Wait,
so,
the van?
No.
P-51 Mustang. That's what he was
but
flying.
the amazing thing is that I didn't know that Tom Cruise had a connection to Southwest Florida. Apparently his mother used to live on Marco Island.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, which you know well. But if you look at the airplane, it actually has his name. It's like his
Why
name
not?
is, I guess.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool.
Me too.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
And apparently he's getting ready for another Mission Impossible. So
he is ageless. 60 years old. Ageless. He's your age. You and Tom. You and Tom.
Do people not say about me?
Ageless.
Ageless.
By the way, your
Exactly.
head looks good.
You know what?
Finally?
You know what? This
Finally.
morning, I shaved
I don't
my
see
head
it.
here for the first time.
Yeah.
I haven't put a razor near it for 10 days.
No, it looks good.
For 10
I can't
days.
see
Ever since
it.
you failed to render aid.
Yeah.
And I had a workplace injury.
I believe that some of the things that you said about your quote unquote wound, gushing blood.
Yeah. I have pictures of that. I'll show you pictures of that. Ladies and gentlemen, would you kindly go to Smerconish.com and cast a ballot on today's poll question? Should marijuana use be immaterial in security clearance reviews required for federal jobs? Don't forget, TC After Dark dropped last Thursday.
Good one.
She's got a conversation with Ron and Sana. Nobody better to talk about the markets and investments and kind of break it down into bite-sized pieces.
The basics for your 20-somethings and for you.
Yeah. TC After Dark, TC After Dark, TC After Dark. Like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.